this new form is crazy. What's up, y'all? We back at it with another chapter of Dandadan Chapter 206, and we got our boy Jiji in the Evil Eye versus the Red Baron. I don't know. The Red Baron is such a trash name. I don't. Maybe it's just me. I just don't rock with that name. They could have called him Smoke. I just think that shit is so cold. But we got it where they're facing off against one another, and we also find out a little bit more information about Jiji's fusion with the Evil Eye in this chapter. Like, yo, it's not as powerful as we've been led to believe, and we're gonna dive into that as the chapter goes on. But I just like seeing the Evil Eye and Jiji fight together, like seeing that the Evil Eye is actually changing, and maybe at some point he might be called the Good Eye. I don't know. Maybe that might happen. What I'm really curious about, though, in this new form that they have, I'm curious what's the color wave for it, you know what I'm saying? Because he does look a lot lighter in this form as opposed to how he looks in the Evil Eye form. So I'm very curious what's going to be the color scheme. Hopefully we'll get this on the cover of a volume, of one of their volumes that's going to come out in the future. Hopefully. But we got it where the chapter starts off where these two are facing off against one another. You have the smoke yokai looking like, yo, what is going on? And then Jiji goes to tell him like, yo, I can use the power of the Evil Eye and fire the evil gun in this form. Pretty much telling this smoke yokai, like, yo, you done. And then, you know, the Red Baron says, like, don't tell me a human and a yokai have fused. And of course, Jiji says, fuse, I wish I could do something like that. That would be awesome. So this right here isn't a fusion. So that means at some point we may actually get a fusion between the two characters, because this right here isn't a fusion. And you have it where Jiji says, nah, the Evil Eye and him are just swapping back and forth at super high speed. Now, that's insane to think that they're switching so fast that it appears to come off as a whole new form. And I guess that can explain why we can't see the Evil Eye in the center of his forehead, and we see some characteristics of Jiji as well as the Evil Eye in this body at the same time, because they're switching at very high speeds. Now, that's a genius move if you ask me. I know some people may say like, yo, Jiji's an idiot, and you know, I really like how this goes back to what Seiko was actually telling us from the very beginning, like, yo, that boy is a genius, and this right here kind of proves what she was talking about. And you know, Jiji goes to explain it's like a light bulb. If you cut it on and off super fast, it will appear as if the light bulb is still on. The crazy thing is, I went and tried it. You know what I'm saying? Right after I read the chapter, I was like, I wonder. I walked over to my lamp. I'm like, he's right. I don't know. I just never did that before, but you know, probably because I would have got an ass whooping by my parents growing up, and then as an adult, you just don't think of dumb stuff like that to do. But I did go try, and I'm like, yeah, it works. And you know, he said he actually learned this technique with the Evil Eye from playing video games. They both wanted to share the experience of beating the bosses in the game, and so they kept switching very fast so both of them could experience that. And like I said, he's a genius, but at the same time, this was a genius move that I think he learned by something stupid, like, you know, trying to play a video game. It kind of reminds me of what's the movie? What was it, Pirates of the Caribbean? How, you know, Jack Sparrow would just do like some of the most amazing and convenient things, and you have like the crowd, the people that he's facing off against, like, yo, do you think he's a genius? Or matter of fact, they'd be like, do you think he planned that, or he just made this up as he'd go along? Like, it made me think of that type of scenario. But of course, you got it where Jiji is about to shoot his evil gun in this new form, and you have it where the Red Baron starts turning himself into smoke, and then he manages to enter the lungs of Jiji in the Evil Eye, and he's like, yo, I can stop you from moving around. The only way you can really push me out is by shooting an evil gun. But your evil gun in this form is a lot weaker than what it was in your human body. So this fusion, or not necessarily fusion, but this switching of the two real fast has actually made Jiji weaker. And you have it where the Red Baron tells him like, yo, the moment you switch into your human form in order to like get rid of me from your body, I will turn myself back to a solid and explode and rip you from the inside out. And you got it where Jiji's just like, yo, thinking of some of the teachings that he's gotten from Seiko about channeling his chi, learning how to control his chi. And you see that he hits himself with a chi attack forcing the Red Baron out of his body. And I ain't gonna lie, these panels just look goated as hell. The Red Baron himself is asking like, what did you do? And then you have it where Jiji walks up to him and says like, you won't get back inside of me, and he covers his mouth and nose. Now this is one of those moments where they just made this man look like a genius a couple panels ago. Now you get to this page and it's like, yo, him saying something dumb like that where you still have your eyes, there's still other ways to smoke could enter you. But of course you got it where the Red Baron goes to try to turn back into smoke, and then you have it where Jiji shoots him with another evil gun blast, and he says, even if my powers have lowered, you know what I'm saying, I can at least stop you from disappearing. Also, you know, the more and more I squeeze you, the less and less, you know, the longer and longer it takes for you to turn into smoke. And then you have it where the evil eye kind of like starts to take control over the body once again. And he says something that shows me that he is starting to respect and care for the other Dandadan members. Because he says that that woman you were standing on, she said that she was going to make me family. So don't go standing on her like she's nothing. You can see that the evil eye took control over the body at this point. They stopped switching, you know, because it takes longer for him to switch into a smoke form when someone is squeezing him real tight. You know, that's all the time the evil eye needs to get get an attack in on this smoke yokai, the Red Baron. And so then you have it where the evil eye just hits him with a barrage of different punches. Like, this shit looks devastating, and this guy does not have enough time to turn into smoke, and he punches him so hard that he sends him flying out the building that they were into and landing into a lake, and he's just floating there unconscious. Now whether he's dead, I don't know. The evil eye ain't really the type that let people walk away that he considers to be a threat. But next thing you know, you have it where Jiji is in control of the body again, and he says like, yo, evil eye, you went overboard. You know, I wanted to complain to him some more as well. You know, he wanted to complain too, but it seems as if the evil eye got carried away in that attack. And then you have Jiji make this statement which really makes me feel good as a fan of Seiko. He says, if my master had been in top form, she could have instantly killed that guy, you know, a guy like him, saying that the only reason the smoke yokai, the Red Baron, got the shots in that he did on Seiko is because she was in a weakened state. Remember, she's still recovering from the battle that she had many chapters ago. I think it was about maybe like 10 or 20 chapters ago when she was fighting that Minotaur. And you have it where Jiji's walking off with her. So this right here says that if she was in top form while facing off against the Red Baron, this battle wouldn't have went the way it did, which with her losing and being defeated the way that she was. I mean, it's a chance she could have still lost, but it wouldn't have been as easy as it was. She was already wounded and injured. And I just like this panel right here of Jiji walking off carrying Seiko. It just shows how he's viewing them, he views her as family. And then just what happened with, you know what I'm saying, the evil eye saying that he wants to be that family. He wants to be a part of this family. And if they actually do say like, yo, you're family now, I imagine he would no longer be the evil eye. He would be the good eye. You know, it doesn't have as much as a ring as the evil eye, but he would be the good eye, so to speak. But all in all, this was an amazing chapter. Enjoyed it from start to finish. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, most chapters that involve Jiji are very enjoyable. You know, even if he just has like a small moment, he could just really change the tone of any moment in the chapters. But that's just my take on the matter. You guys can let me know y'all's down below, and if you like the video, thumb it up, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I will catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace.